Yes, it is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. I am Peaches. If you want to get a hold of me, of course you can, over at 208-535-1015. Last night, might have been just yesterday afternoon, I saw the post about Bruce Campbell, and immediately I didn't recognize the name, but then I saw his picture and went, oh, that's the guy from Sky High. That 2005 Disney film about superheroes and sidekicks. It's one of my favorite childhood movies. Found out Bruce Campbell just got diagnosed with cancer. He said it's treatable, but not curable. He uploaded this entire letter, but many different news outlets were talking about it. I didn't think he was all that big of an actor. I thought he was just that dude from Sky High. Well, I started looking up his different movies and TV shows. He was in The Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Ash versus Evil Dead. He was in all the Evil Dead movies, it seems like. He was also in a movie just simply called My Name is Bruce. He was in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. He was in Cars 2, Spider-Man 2. I see here Hercules, the TV show. Whole bunch of different movies and shows. Ant Bully as well. Hopefully he can get that treated. Cancer absolutely sucks, obviously. Also, I wanted to talk about this at the beginning part of my show. I did not expect this post to take off on my Facebook page at Brenden Peach. I tried posting this particular ChatGPT altered picture of the church that's at the corner of 17th and Woodruff. I believe that's the intersection. It looks like a skate ramp. And I'm glad I'm not the only one who also thought that. And so when I edited it, it's always tough for me to say this, edited it, I put a skater on it. Obviously, the skater looks like 8 feet tall. It's very obviously fake. Some people thought it was real. I had to repeat to a lot of people in the comments, hey, by the way, this is AI. This is fake. It's not real. I didn't land this. Someone was all stoked. He's like, hey, man, did you stick the landing? Me riding a skateboard, out of all people? I'm probably the last person here in the building that should be on a skateboard. I feel like even Justin from 105 The Hawk, he could easily ride a skateboard better than me. Even Jade, Victor, Jay Hildebrandt, I feel like he could ride one better than me. I would stand on one. It would go out from under me. I'd fall completely on my back, hurt myself. I just suck at it. I've always wanted to know how to skateboard, but yeah, just never have. I don't think I ever will. So yeah, that picture took off on my Facebook. It's now sitting at over like 1,000 something likes, over 200 something comments, like 95 different people shared it. It's just a dumb image. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, yeah, I'll be back here in just a few. It's Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. Oh man, I found a great question for to Peach their own already this early on. What is something you're supposed to love because of where you live, but you actually hate? I know Jade has shocked quite a few people on what he likes to eat, what he doesn't like to eat. I know he has said in the past he doesn't like Reese's because he thinks chocolate and peanut butter don't go together. Josh from Classy 97's the same way. He calls that sweaty peanut butter inside of the Reese's there. He also doesn't like ketchup for some reason, Josh from Classy 97. That's a little odd, you know. I like all condiments. Obviously, I like all candies. But Jade did say at one point he doesn't like potatoes, which is quite funny because, you know, we live in Idaho. I see someone here saying you live in Chicago but hate deep dish pizza. I mean, I'm not from Chicago, obviously, but also I really don't like deep dish pizza. I also don't like lasagna. Is that weird of me? I don't think so. Another one here, you live in California but hate the beach. Funny enough, I enjoy going to the beach, but only for like maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Then I'm like, okay, I'm risking sunburn. I'm not going to go in the water because I'm afraid of fish. I'm just going to sit here in the sand. Also, I would not want to take my shirt off in public either. So there's just me wearing my my sandals, my shorts, my nice t-shirt. I'm sitting there on the towel. Sand's getting in everywhere, in my bag, in my shoes, in my flip-flops, you know. The beach is kind of overrated. I think I've mentioned that before on the show. It's not that great. You're a New Yorker but aren't a fan of Broadway? Oh, if I lived in New York, this not only the amount of people, but just the whole culture of New York. Doesn't sound fun. And musicals, they suck. You live in Wisconsin but don't like cheese? Okay. You live in Texas but don't like barbecue? Wow. You live in Colorado but don't ski or snowboard? I feel like I'm doing a disservice to Idaho by not skiing or snowboarding. Going back to what I said at the beginning part of the show about how I can never, ever, ever skateboard because I'm just so bad at it. Skiing and snowboarding would be the exact same thing. Ghost with Lacrima. You know what? Happy birthday to Tobias Forge. I just saw Lou Brutus's post saying happy birthday to Tobias. I guess he'll be on. Is he on the show tonight? No, it says we will mark the occasion tonight on Hard Drive Radio XL with music and a special edition of Poetry Corner. Here's a throwback image of Cardinal Copia from Janesville, Wisconsin, 2016. Okay. Yeah, happy birthday to Tobias, I guess. I did like his recent interview with Nardwuar. It's pretty funny. If you've ever seen a Nardwuar interview, you know, they're just fun because Nardwuar is just a fake character. I feel bad for the guy who actually pretends to be Nardwuar. I wonder what he's actually like in real life, what his prep process is like for interviews. I think he's done a TED Talk in the past, maybe about it, but I don't think he reveals any of his secrets of how he's able to find out different tidbits. I think he just calls like people related to that specific person he's interviewing. He's interviewed a lot of rappers, and they're quite shocked on how he knows like their elementary school teacher, all of that. And so with this Tobias Forge interview, of course, he does the exact same thing. He gives him a couple of things, but there was one particular Swedish horse that he just handed over to Tobias. And Tobias like, oh, this is awesome, cool. And then Nardwuar just took it right back. It wasn't a present to him. And you saw just the look of sadness on Tobias's face. Hopefully for his birthday today, he's gifted one of those Swedish horses. What are they called? Swedish horse decoration. Is it something fun? I forget. The Dala horse? Yeah. The Dala Hast? I don't know how you say it. I probably just butchered it. All right, I saw something in the radio prep just now that made me do a double take. It was basically outlining how much organs are worth on the black market. Kidneys? 6 figures. Livers, even more. Hearts and lungs, hundreds of thousands. Now, obviously, and I cannot stress this enough, this is illegal. All right, horrifying, tied to human trafficking around the world. But it does highlight something real. There is a massive shortage of legal organ donations globally. That's why a black market even exists in the first place. And here's the part worth talking about. You can live with one kidney. You can donate part of your liver. People do it legally all the time. Again, legally and literally save lives. So instead of joking about illegal organ sales like it's Craigslist, maybe the actual takeaway is this. If you're healthy and you've ever considered being an organ donor, that decision could change or save someone's life. And that's worth more, I think, than any shady 6-figure payday. Oh, who am I kidding? The players getting ready to enter the NFL are faster than ever. At the 2026 NFL Combine, 7 out of the 8 positions that take part in the 40-yard dash averaged their fastest times ever, with quarterbacks averaging the second fastest times ever. Defensive backs and wide receivers were the fastest overall, with an average of 4.44 seconds. The slowest positions were, not surprisingly, offensive linemen at 5.1 seconds, which is still fast for someone that big. You know, I think I talked about it on the show last week, I think, about who could run the fastest 40-yard dash here in the building. I don't think I would even make the top 5, I don't think. WrestleMania is the biggest annual event for the WWE, and this year it will likely have the chance to get its biggest audience in a long time. Last year, ESPN bought the rights to WWE Premium Live events for its new streaming app, and to promote the app, it will show 2 hours of WrestleMania matches on regular ESPN. On April 18th, the first hour will be live on ESPN2, while on the 19th, the first hour will air on ESPN. Very weird there. The St. Louis Cardinals are entering a rebuild this season, and to make sure people still come out to the ballpark, they're offering fun food deals. The new Coca-Cola Unlimited ticket, which starts at $29, gets fans a seat and a choice of 3 unlimited concession items from when gates open until the 8th inning. They get to choose from fountain Coca-Cola products, hot dogs, chicken tenders, bratwurst, nacho chips and cheese, French fries, popcorn, peanuts, kettle chips, and ice cream cups. That does it, I guess, for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. That giant mechanical rhino from Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, is officially up for auction. You know, that rhino from that particular scene, even if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sure that scene has popped up maybe like on a YouTube short. It's where Jim Carrey crawls out of, after overheating in the African sun, he crawls out of this rhino while a horrified family watches from a Jeep. If you've only ever seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, that scene is from the sequel, and for a lot of fans, the sequel might actually be the more quoted movie. You know, mid-'90s comedy. Oh man, those movies from back then, they're awesome. Now that full-scale animatronic prop is heading to auction, which means someone is going to buy that and maybe put it like in their basement or something. Somebody who has the money, the disposable income, is about to own one of the most ridiculous pieces of movie history ever built. Have you ever watched some of those YouTube videos of like maybe the guy who has the world's largest Star Wars collection, and you're like, how in the world did you get the money to build this? I was watching the world's largest collection of video games, and that guy said he used to work a ton, and I'm like, though I could work 80 hours a week, I don't think I would ever be able to afford that many video games with all these bills you have to pay, you know, food, all that stuff. I think he said he sacrificed a lot of meals, which is just downright absurd. I mean, to Peach their own, I guess. Anyway, it's Peach's Pit Party, a day to remember now, all my friends on K-Bear 101. Would it be bad if I were to refer to this as old people news, and anytime there's like a classic band from back in the day in the news, maybe I should just make this a new segment on the show, Old People Rock News or something like that. OPRN. I need to figure out a better name for it. But yeah, the big thing that Eddie Trunk was teasing that we briefly discussed on the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, I guess Dee Snider of Twisted Sister is stepping away from the band for a little while, a few dates, I think. Sebastian Bach is set to replace him. And so Eddie Trunk was teasing some big interview with Sebastian Bach on the show. Again, Eddie Trunk and all the other classic rock enthusiasts very stoked about this. As of now, it says here, Bach will join JJ French, Eddie Oeda, and the crew for a handful of select fall shows, with the band confirming the move won't interfere with his solo touring schedule. As of now, the only listed date is September 4th at the Alaska State Fair. Yippee! Snyder has publicly given his blessing to, saying he hopes the band continues, and revealing that Bach was one of the singers he had approached years ago as a potential fill-in. What is exactly going on with Dee Snider? Tons of people in the comment section on this particular post that I'm looking at. No thanks. Nah, I'm good. This is the biggest news of the day. LOL. So stupid. Yeah, old people rock news right there. Sebastian Bach now, for at least a little bit, the lead singer of Twisted Sister. What in the world am I looking at here? The New York Post has this article. It says, torturous cheek splitter 9000 airplane seat worries travelers about the future of flight. It's a real pain in the butt, is what it says in the beginning part of this article. An airplane passenger was taken aback after encountering a peculiar cheek splitter sky chair with a perplexing wedge bisecting the bum cushion. I've been on a lot of planes around the world, but this was a first, exclaimed the user while describing the torture device-esque accommodation on Reddit. It was on Japan Airlines. So many people are making jokes, but still there's no explanation as to why exactly the seat looks like this. One person said it's to keep the homeless pilots from occupying the cockpit. Was there an explanation? It's 2 seats now for really skinny people. Another person said, oh my, I thought it was a premium seat at first. Yeah, still no explanation. I'm scrolling down. I'm looking at this. I'm trying to see if there's anything as to the reason why this is built like this. Are they going to try to say like this is something scientific? It's actually good for you to be seated like this with just this wedge going between your legs like this? No thanks. You know what? I would rather drive 13 hours to get back to my parents' place than sit on something like that. We talked about this yesterday, but now the details are out. I read more into it. I should say it's even more real. There's a group in Brooklyn called Grown Kid running these weekly events where singles meet, not for coffee, not for drinks, but for wrestling. Yeah, walking onto a mat with someone who could be a romantic interest in wrestling them. It's positioned as an alternative to dating apps rather than texting back and forth. You immediately find out whether someone is playful, confident, or physically assertive. The organizers say traditional dating can feel flat, and this is a way to skip the awkward messaging stage and go straight to something physical, which is exactly the line that makes everyone go, wait, what? The events are structured. There's registration. There's a social club with member perks. It even has its own terminology and culture around it. I get trying new ways to meet people, but the wrestling angle, it's unusual enough that people will either think it's brilliant or completely baffling. What's interesting is how seriously some of the participants seem to take it. They're not just horsing around. They're showing up with intentions, meeting new people, treating it like a legitimate social event, which I think is pretty cool. So if you're tired of swiping on apps and want your first date to involve a referee's whistle and a mat, this might be the next iteration of singles event. Why don't they have something like this happen in like Rexburg out of all places? Maybe we should organize that, or bring it to each city in East Idaho. The K-Bear, no, there'd be so many issues with that. The lawyers would definitely not allow that whatsoever, because someone would get hurt, or some weird couple, or some weird thing would happen, and then it becomes all our fault. Yeah, never mind. Here's Pierce the Veil. So far, so fake on K-Bear 101. I know it's not that cold out anymore. The snow really didn't show up this winter. I myself, like I've mentioned before, I was plenty happy with the winter this year. I'm looking at the weather forecast to see 50, 54. I see 41's the lowest, which is not too bad. I mean, the lowest high I see, the lowest low I see is 24 degrees, which we're still towards the tail end of winter. When does spring officially start? I'm looking that up real quick here because I want to find that out for myself. Friday, March 20th. Wow, they even say here at 10:46 a.m. Eastern time. Exactly. That's when that moment right there, known as the vernal equinox, marks the point when the sun crosses the celestial equator, bringing longer days. Well, March 14th, I'm assuming it will still be slightly cold. It won't be all that bad out. Again, knocking on wood, I'm assuming that. But there is the Frosty Footsteps 5K happening that day at the Snake River Landing waterfront. That's where it starts, I believe. I think it also it might end there as well. It's a walk in the shoes of our local homeless community, raising awareness, providing real help. I mean, you'll get to see what it's like to be outside during these conditions, not necessarily at its worst, but you would understand like, oh yeah, it gets much colder here, and some people don't have the ability to go into a room and stay warm. 100% of proceeds support the Idaho Falls Rescue Mission programs and shelters. Get involved, make an impact, help bring hope to those who need it most. Become a volunteer, become a runner, become even a person who just walks the whole thing. Sign up today at walkinthecold.com. That's walkinthecold.com. I'm glad I didn't make anybody upset so far. That's not a challenge, all right? In the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group, I saw this meme talking about those $300 high school rings. You remember those, right? At the very end of your senior year, you got that little paper that asked, hey, would you want to buy a class ring? And they were wildly expensive. Wildly expensive. I'm not necessarily a ring guy, and I was never really wanting to buy one anyway. One of my close friends at the time, his parents bought one for him, and I even put it in the caption. He was that kind of guy that, like, when somebody gets like a brand new tattoo, they'll do anything to show it off. You'll see them wearing like a short sleeve t-shirt. They'll roll it up if it's on their right arm just to show, hey, I got this sweet new tattoo. I want you to compliment me on it. This guy had his hand on his face, pretending to pose all eloquently, and he had it on his index finger, I think, at the time. I think he has me blocked now on Facebook. We had a falling out not that many years ago. Otherwise, I would totally look at his Facebook profile and see if those pictures are still there. Anyway, here's Seven Dust, their latest. Is this the real you? On Peach's Pit Party. It's K-Bear 101. Today's What the Headline comes out of Spain, and it's unbelievable. A guy gets fired for drinking on the job. Not one sip. No, I'm talking allegedly crushing beers in bars and parking lots, and then one day reportedly putting down 3 liters at lunch. His company even hired a private detective to follow him around because they suspected he was working drunk. He also drove a company vehicle. Huge liability. They fire him. Seems pretty open and shut, right? Well, no. He sues, and he wins. The court ruled that lunch breaks technically are not work hours, and the company couldn't provide his drinking, could not prove his drinking hurt his job performance. Spanish law apparently only allows termination for habitual drunkenness on isolated incidents. Result, the company has to pay him around $55,000. Fired for drinking, walks away with a payout. I'm not recommending this as a career strategy. I'm just saying that is one expensive lunch break, and that is today's What the Headline right here on K-Bear 101. This makes it even worse that Trent Reznor was hinting at the fact that this might be the final tour for Nine Inch Nails, but I mean, a lot of bands have said that in the past, and sure enough, when they get the right amount of money on that check, magically they return. That final tour becomes just another tour. Nine Inch Nails is set to perform at the Delta Center next Friday, the 13th, Friday, March 13th. Oh, that's going to be one epic show. Also that same night, Nothing More, Catch Your Breath, Archers, and Doobie. They're also going to be in Salt Lake City. So many shows coming up. I think the next one that I'm going to go to, Slaughter to Prevail, Whitechapel, and Attila. I talked about this on the show yesterday. I've been wanting to see Slaughter to Prevail live. I was hoping Slaughter to Prevail would open up for Falling in Reverse on that leg of the tour that came to Idaho Falls, but unfortunately they did not. So this is like my rare opportunity to see them, because for the longest time, Slaughter to Prevail was only touring on like the east side of the United States, and that was it. So yeah, Slaughter to Prevail, Whitechapel, and Attila on March 28th. I think what my plan is that I'm going to go to, because that's on a Saturday. Me and my girlfriend are going to travel to Twin Falls that Friday night, spend the night at her sister's house, and then I'll drive the extra 2 hours to go to Boise, go to the show, drive the 2 hours back to Twin Falls, spend the night. Then me and Aubrey will go back to Idaho Falls. Boom. There we go. There's my plan. Check out all the live shows on our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. You don't have to memorize that entire link. You can just simply go to the K-Bear 101 app and click on concert calendar right there on the menu. It'll take you directly to it. The night before in Salt Lake City, this band is going to be at the Union, I think. I forgot which venue, but this band will be in Salt Lake City on March 27th. Lamb of God, Into Oblivion. I know it's only Tuesday, but I am very, 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 very ready for the weekend, but I'm not ready to lose an hour of sleep. Daylight saving time is back. Clocks move forward. One less hour, gone, disappeared, vanished into thin air. However, we're making it worth your while. We here at K-Bear have teamed up with Brent Gordon Law. If you haven't heard about this, if you're just now tuning in for the first time in forever, we're hooking one golden listener up with a Nintendo Switch 2 bundle. When you hear the Mario sounder, be caller 20 at 208-535-1015. You'll score an entry into the grand prize drawing. If you want better odds, grab bonus entries by signing up through the channel apps. If we're all losing sleep anyway, we might as well gain a console, at least for one lucky person. Again, this Sunday, March 8th at 2 a.m., we lose that hour. Make the switch with Brent Gordon Law and K-Bear 101, because losing an hour has never come with this kind of upside, you know? Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brenden Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.